The April 27th court date is officially canceled. Or is it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about here in this video. This seemingly came out of nowhere and is exploding quickly into the most talked about controversy with AMC stock in quite a while. And I think it's pretty clear. Now, whether this is confirmed or not, I don't think it matters in the grand scope of, I still think, my personal opinion, April 27th, this next court date period in time is whatever you want to call it, is bullish and will be bullish for AMC stock. And we'll talk about that as well here in this video, where AMC could go over the short term. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time to the channel, consider sticking around a while if you like the information portrayed to you here in this video, as well as just getting another person's opinion. I mean, that can be very valuable in and of itself. Also, most importantly, comment your questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Let those comments fly and let that like button turn blue. So, first things first, I get where this came from. Yes, I do. You had the interview with the woman that has researched and worked alongside the Chancery Court for quite a while. And basically she went over kind of how the process works. And I do understand how people could think or jump to conclusions that this is officially over, and it doesn't make it much better when you've seen a lot of videos from other people and, you know, Twitter posts and different social media outlets talking about this as if it is already confirmed. Now, the reason you know it's not confirmed yet, and that's a big yet, is because AMC stock has not rallied 50% in a day over the last couple of days. The news of this court date getting canceled and just going for comments or whatever the judge wants to do, any news on that is going to be a very bullish thing for AMC stock. And if this court date was flat out just canceled, right, that would not be a good thing for this reverse split. That would not be a positive for AMC and Adam Aaron. They're at least, at the very minimum, going to do their due process. Now, that due process is going to get quite interesting because there's a couple different avenues that the judge could choose to take here. And we've talked about a couple of those before in the past. Number one could be a new vote with just common stockholders, and I actually think that is pretty damn likely. If I were to put things out on a percentage basis, there's a chance that, like a lot of people think, there's not really going to be a court date April 27th, but it's going to be open for comments for 60 days. That's what people think. I think there's a chance of that, but I don't think that is necessarily the only thing that we're going to get. Sure, yes, whatever is said will be put up for comment for 60 days. I doubt it's just going to be like a nothing burger, right? Coming April 27th, the option activity, the hedge fund positioning would not suggest that. But I do think there's a strong possibility that some point this week we could get a new development. And this does happen a lot in the Chancery Court. You'll get smaller developments leading into the actual court date. And I do think that is a very real possibility. And that could rally AMC stock, just depending on the scope and scale of what is said, 10 to 50%, possibly even more. Because I don't think it's as clean cut as other individuals do, as hedge funds do and the like. And that's just, I guess, my own opinion. I've seen these things play out before, and there's a valid point here from AMC common stockholders that not all of them were in agreement with this. Probably not even a good majority of them. So that's kind of my take on what's going on right now. It is not officially been confirmed that court is canceled on the 27th. There has been no ruling on this. There has been no new injunctions or documents filed, nothing. Because you would see a very violent reaction in AMC. So I wouldn't necessarily believe anything you guys hear. I would believe the share price more or less. If you get a day where the stock just drops like a rock, drops 15, 20%, or rallies 20, 30, 40, 50%, that's when you know some new development just came on the stage. But until that happens, nothing has happened. Now, if something along these lines were to actually be announced this week, let's talk about that because I think it's interesting. Now, specifically this week could get pretty aggressive to an upside move because of, one, the option activity that we're looking at. In the money calls at 59,000, out the money calls at 396,000. In the money puts at 198,000. In the money calls, out the money calls, and in the money puts do contribute to buying pressure when the stock does go higher. De-hedging on the put side, right? That's bullish. Market makers have to go out and short stock for all the puts that run into the money. 100 shares times 198,000. Let's do that just so you kind of get an idea. That would be about 20 million shares that would need to be de-hedged for if all of these puts went out of the money by expiration. Just say half of them do. That's still about 10 million shares. So if you see a very strong start to a day and you start to break, past that $6 put range, $7 put range, that's where a lot of the puts are held. And that's where things could get fairly bullish from here, especially if it's on some news from the courts. And I think that will especially be very volatile because if you even look at the cost to borrow rates, hedge funds are not expecting this to take a long time, just based off of these costs to borrow rates. And they've been coming down a little bit recently. And that's probably the most, surprising thing of all of this is they've actually been coming down. So shorts that were initially getting in this arbitrage trade that were piling in to cause the short interest to be 26% now, we're paying higher cost to borrow fees than what we're looking at now, which is still insanely high at about 212%, but they were paying rates 5, 6, 7, 800. That means if you can only gain, call it 100, 150% off of this trade, if you were taking out a short position at a 500% cost to borrow fee, well, in 2.5 months, you're automatically going to be negative on that whole trade. What's the point at that point? If it takes another 60 days, a lot of these shorts, based off of simply the cost to borrow rates, will be negative in their positions. We'll have no way to make a profit, even if the conversion, were to happen 60 days, right? 90 days. And even if they were to get the max profit possible, still would not matter because these cost bar rates are so high. So I think any doubt, any delaying of this, any, 60, 90 days is going to be a very bullish event for AMC stock. And that, simply put, has not happened yet. And I think that's the ultimate bottom line. But there's some things that, like I said, cost bar rates, option activity, the overall technicals of where we currently sit that could help the stock go substantially higher than even, 30, 40, 50% if that news were to be announced. Now, if we take a look at more so percentage gains from here. So the stock is currently at $5.22, including this after hours move. A 30% gainer from here would put the stock at about $6.79 per share. A 40% gain would put the stock at $7.32 per share. That would break you above that 200-day moving average, currently at $7.10 per share. And if you were to break above that, which more specifically is about 36.5% positive, then that's where you could start to get really squeezy, and that's where you could start to target in between $8 and $10 per share. Median of that, $9 per share would be like an 80% gain, and I think that would be possible if that even were to come out over the next couple of days. Following, after that, call it the end of this week, the beginning of next week, could be very, very bullish heading into April 27th when we do get an actual ruling on these matters. So I do think these rumors, a lot of time rumors do come from somewhere, and it might not all be wrong necessarily, but it's just not confirmed yet. And that is really what you guys need to know. But rumors, hey, maybe it does get confirmed pretty quickly, and that would be confirmation. That would be a good thing. Now, even on a technical basis, AMC stock hitting higher lows. That is bullish. You can see that's what creates an uptrend, and that's exactly what has been happening even today. Hit a higher low than Friday. That's bullish, right? See this wick down here? See this wick up here? That's setting a trend to the upside. Yes, you do get knocked around that 50, 100-day moving average. And that's not so good. You're approaching that moving average. Again, if you really break above those on some news, you're probably going pretty quickly to that 200-day moving average. And then based off of FOMO, option activity, shorts covering, it's hard to say that's where you could start to get that 50 to 80 to 100% rally in the course of just a day or two, 3 days maybe. And then, I mean, I think to see a move like that, you might get like 1 to 2% of the short interest actually cover on their short positions. I think mainly you're going to get a lot of buying through FOMO and people really not wanting to miss out on any potential short squeeze. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Let those comments fly, baby. We need as many people as possible to see this video because wow, I've never seen a specific comment take over so quickly. That is not necessarily true. Like I said, rumors can be somewhat true. It can be an indication of something to come. But watch the stock. Just watch the stock. If the stock rallies huge or drops huge, that's when news is coming out. That's when you should really look to see what's going on. Because an announcement like that would cause a huge rally or a huge drop. You would not be able to miss it. That is it for this video. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you in the next one.